The Tall Man in the Pines. A supernatural horror short story. I should start by saying I don't expect anyone to believe me. If I were reading this on some forum at 2 in the morning, I'd probably roll my eyes and click away. But I need to write it down. I need to get it out of my head before the memories twist themselves into something even worse. This happened in the summer of 1999, back when the internet still felt like a secret place and every weird rumor spread through message boards like wildfire. I was 16, bored, and convinced I was invincible. My friends and I spent most of that summer biking around the outskirts of our small town, filming stupid videos with my dad's old Panasonic camcorder. The thing was bulky, heavy, and ate through batteries like crazy, but it made us feel like filmmakers. There were 4 of us, me obviously, Evan, my best friend since kindergarten, Liam, who always pretended he wasn't scared of anything, and Mara, who was smarter than the rest of us combined and usually the only voice of reason. The trouble started when Evan found a thread on some obscure forum. I think it was called Night Watchers or something like that. The site looked like it had been thrown together by someone who barely understood HTML. Black background, neon green text, grainy gifs of skulls spinning in the corners. Very don't trust anything you read here energy. The thread was titled, "The Tall Man in the Pines. Do not go looking for him." Of course, that meant we immediately wanted to go looking for him. The post was long, rambling, and written by someone who claimed to live in a cabin near the old logging trails north of town. They said they'd seen a figure, impossibly tall, impossibly thin, standing between the trees at dusk. No face, no sound, just watching. The part that stuck with Evan was the claim that cameras malfunctioned around it. The poster said their camcorder glitched whenever the figure appeared, and they uploaded a still frame as proof. It was tiny, low resolution, and probably fake, but it showed a pale shape between the trees, stretched and wrong. We should have laughed it off. We should have gone back to filming dumb skits in Evan's backyard. But we didn't. We decided to go into the woods. The first trip. The old logging trails were about a 40-minute bike ride from town. We packed snacks, flashlights, and the camcorder. Mara complained the whole way, but she still came along. She always did. The forest felt different that day. I know how that sounds. Forests always feel different depending on the weather, the light, your mood. But this was something else. The air felt heavy, like the humidity before a storm, except the sky was clear. The trees seemed too close together, their branches tangled like they were trying to keep us out. We walked for maybe an hour before Evan stopped and pointed. "Look," he whispered. First, I didn't see anything. Then I noticed a shape between 2 pines. Tall. Thin. Too thin. Like someone had stretched a person vertically in Photoshop. I lifted the camcorder and zoomed in. The viewfinder flickered. Static crawled across the screen. The battery indicator dropped from full to half in a second. "Are you getting this?" Evan asked. I don't know. The figure didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't do anything. Then the camcorder shut off. Just died. When I lowered it, the figure was gone. We didn't run, but we walked back to our bikes a lot faster than we'd come in. Nobody talked. Even Liam looked pale. When we got home, I plugged the camcorder into the TV. The tape was blank. Not just the part where the figure had been, the entire tape. Hours of footage erased. That should have been enough to stop us. But teenagers are idiots. The second trip. A week later, Evan convinced us to go back. He said we needed proof. He said we'd be legends on the forums if we got real footage. Mara refused at first, but eventually she caved. I think she was more worried about us going without her. This time, we brought 2 camcorders. Mine and one Liam borrowed from his older brother. We also brought walkie-talkies, because Liam thought it would be cool. We split into 2 groups. Me and Evan on one trail, Liam and Mara on another. The plan was to meet at a clearing marked on an old map Evan had printed from the library. It was a stupid plan. Evan and I walked for maybe 20 minutes before the forest went quiet. Not just quiet, silent. No birds. No insects. No wind. The kind of silence that presses against your eardrums. "Do you feel that?" Evan whispered. I nodded. My skin felt too tight. The camcorder in my hand vibrated, like it was struggling. The viewfinder flickered again. "Turn it off," Evan said. I didn't turn it on. We heard a crack behind us. A branch snapping. We spun around. Nothing. Then the walkie-talkie crackled. Static at first. Then Mara's voice, faint and distorted. "You guys where are?" "Mara? Say again," Evan said. More static. Then a sound I still hear in my nightmares. A long, low scraping noise, like metal dragging across stone. Then a voice that wasn't Mara's. A voice with no tone, no emotion, no humanity. "Behind you." We turned. He was there. Closer this time. So tall his head nearly brushed the branches. Limbs too long, too straight. No face. Just smooth, pale skin where features should have been. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Evan grabbed my arm and yanked. "Run!" We ran blindly through the trees, branches whipping our faces. The forest seemed wrong. Paths that should have been familiar twisted in new directions. The air buzzed with static. When we finally burst into the clearing, Liam and Mara were already there, both shaking. "We saw him," Mara said. "He was behind us. Every time we looked back, he was closer." Liam held up his camcorder. The casing was cracked, like something had squeezed it. "We need to go," I said. Nobody argued. The missing time. We made it back to our bikes just before sunset. The moment we left the tree line, the forest sounds returned. Birds, insects, wind. Like someone had unmuted the world. But something was wrong. The sky was darker than it should have been. The sun was lower. Too low. We checked our watches. 3 hours had passed. We'd only been in the woods for one. We biked home in silence. That night I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that faceless head turning toward me. I heard the static. I felt the forest pressing in. At around 2 a.m., my phone rang. It was Evan. "Check your window," he whispered. I got out of bed and looked. He was standing in my backyard. Not Evan. Him. The tall man. The slender man. Whatever you want to call him. He stood perfectly still, arms hanging at his sides, head tilted slightly, like he was studying me. I stumbled back from the window. When I looked again, he was gone. My phone rang again. This time it was Mara. "Did you see him?" she whispered. I didn't answer. "I think he's watching all of us." The third trip. We should have told someone. We should have stayed inside. We should have done anything except what we did. But Evan insisted we needed to end it. He said the posts online talked about unfinished encounters. That once you saw the tall man, he didn't stop until you confronted him. I don't know if that was true or if Evan was just scared and desperate. Either way, we went back. It was the last time we were all together. We entered the forest just after noon, hoping daylight would help. Didn't. The deeper we went, the darker it got. Shadows stretched too far. The air felt thick again. We reached the clearing from before. The camcorders both died instantly. The walkie-talkies emitted a high-pitched whine. Then the trees shifted. I don't know how else to describe it. They moved subtly at first, then more obviously, like they were rearranging themselves. Mara grabbed my arm. "He's here." And he was, standing at the edge of the clearing. Then closer. Then closer. Every time we blinked, he moved. Evan screamed and threw a rock at him. It didn't even reach halfway before dropping to the ground. Liam tried to run, but the trees closed around him. Literally closed, trunks bending, branches weaving together. He vanished into the darkness. Mara ran after him. Evan grabbed my hand. "We have to go." But I couldn't move. The tall man was right in front of me now. Towering. Silent. Faceless. The world went white. After. I woke up on the side of the road near the logging trail entrance. It was dawn. My clothes were torn. My arms were scratched. My camcorder was gone. Evan was lying next to me, unconscious but breathing. Mara and Liam were nowhere. The police searched for weeks. They found nothing. No footprints. No clothing. No signs of struggle. Just the forest, silent and indifferent. Evan and I told them we got lost, that we got separated, that we didn't remember what happened. It wasn't entirely a lie. Evan moved away a month later. His parents said he needed a fresh start. I never saw him again. Sometimes I think about calling him, but I don't know what I'd say. I don't know if he remembers more than I do. I don't know if he wants to. As for me, I tried to move on. I really did. But last week, I found something in my mailbox. A VHS tape. No label. I dug out my old VCR and played it. The footage was grainy, shaky, but I recognized the forest immediately. The camera moved through the trees, slowly, like someone was walking with it. Then it reached the clearing. We were there, all four of us, laughing, talking, completely unaware. The camera zoomed in on me. Then the screen filled with static. When the image returned, the tall man was standing behind us, watching. The tape ended there. I don't know who filmed it. I don't know how it ended up in my mailbox. But last night, I heard something outside my window, a scraping sound, like metal on stone. I haven't looked yet. I'm not sure I want to, but I can feel him, standing there, waiting.